Any questions or arguments? Nobody? Okay, great. On identity management, access management, federation, and single sign-on, where are the savings coming? So what they've averaged out, what we're showing here, are time and task savings. These things in an IT operations and then these things in a larger or ancillary benefit all add up to give you the business value that you're going to need to document to make the case for an initial or further investment in identity access management. So under identity management, the major points from an IT operations and then general business benefits. So in IT, when you implement an identity management process, an automated process, 50% on password. This is a recurring theme: password, password, password. Access provisioning. What this tool does, I mentioned the automated workflow. They go out and they say, okay, I'm going to give you Lotus Notes or Exchange accounts, an Oracle, an SAP account, and shoot a note to the guy who gives you a BlackBerry. It automates all that, and including approvals. So if you're a first, second line manager and you need to approve my manager's request that I get access to something, it's all baked in. That's where you start getting the access provisioning savings, and that can be pretty significant as well. Again, larger business benefit, side benefit, is that if you're like me, if I got to go through a lot of hoops to get a password reset, I generally go find some other thing to do. And maybe it's on a competitor's website, maybe it's just deferred, and maybe that's happening a lot. And you defer enough revenue or transactions, that could be a problem. So you want to improve that. We're talking a little bit earlier about virus attacks and malware creeping in, and how can identity and access management help? What it does is it puts a finer screen through which access requests have to be authenticated and approved. Automating the enforcement of access management is going to be the point where you see all these other related issues, but a lot of other side things that can get tightened up from identity management. For access management, which is the continuous real-time enforcement of policies, so you're spending less time on again, virus attack, malware, password resets, those types of things, insider threat and data theft, because that's where most of the data losses and the non-compliant risks actually lie. I think when you combine identity management and access management, that would really negate a lot of this. Now, the identity management system would see, for example, that I'm no longer doing what I was doing, promoted, relocated, left the business, and it would suspend access. All my accounts would be suspended. And likewise, the access management, feeding from the same set of policies, they would realize that you're not authorized anymore and stop you from accessing something, or stop you from accessing executive pay scales and things like that. On the federation side, it's a little bit more related to revenue, because you're able to provide access very, very easily, very smooth, seamless access to what's either administratively third-party systems or is in fact third-party service. If Braves want to turn on, like I said, a credit card service, maybe there's a third-party ticket reservation system, but those kinds of examples. So we were able to provide federated single sign-on to this third-party provider. So now, from the standard internal employee portal, they can just click on this thing, and not only does it bring them to the site, but it brings them directly to their page, and they're right in. So you can see how that might be analogous to a revenue or some other service enhancement. And then the last one in this set of slides is on single sign-on. It's a different element of access management, because you can centrally manage your your sign-on policies and then put those out. And then individuals, of course, it's typically a user-oriented, user-based service. So if it's a Windows desktop, I may, for example, have only log into Windows, and then that's it. I can get my SAP, I can get my Salesforce, I can get all these other services, email, and so forth, without explicitly logging in. And if I try to access something that I shouldn't, well, you as the administrator has already baked in, a policy that says, you're in sales, Dan, you don't get to the finance apps. It's an interesting way to approach access management. It's obviously very visible. Executives love this stuff. The easier you can make their day, the better off you look. And in fact, this is undocumented here, the better off that your organization is. So a lot of good benefits on that.